Hey everybody, welcome to Module 8. This is it. We're done. So what I wanted to start off with is talking about how we're done, but we still have, this last week to go. So along the way, I've commented several times on the pacing of this class, how we've done our work. We started off very slowly. We went step by step, building background, getting you thinking about sources, and then more or less at about the two-thirds mark we suddenly said, okay, so write everything. And that's where we are right now is you've written everything and it got submitted uh, just this past module. So now we've got a week left and all the major work is done. So I just wanted you to recognize that this too is part of it's part of how we think how education works. All right. So you've come to the class, you've been presented with ideas for how things should be done, and then you've worked with it and presented things to me, and I evaluate how you've done. And that's part of the test. But then, as far as really comprehending it, as far as completing the education process, what needs to be done is for you to recognize what has happened. All right. And that's where we are. Uh, I'm evaluating during this week and saying how you did, but the real finish is for you to say how you did and what has happened as a result of participating in this class. And that's what our final discussion is about. All right. So the stakes are fairly low on this. Just it's really just thinking about where you started, how you felt about the projects, and then where you ended up, and what has changed in the interim. All right. So that's what we're doing for this final week. And it shouldn't be really tasking. And I hope everybody, you know, has everything completed and does have something important to say about what has happened. All right. So, the next thing I wanted to talk about is just about writing in general. All right. This has been a writing class and where you have been studying writing. And the thing that I need to talk to you about is, again, just talking big picture, is as a student, it's very likely that this is one of your earliest classes for your college career. And it's that is done purposefully because students need to write. Um, in the past, I have regularly had students who basically thought that this was not so important to them. And I have tried to let them know that as students, no matter what their major is, that writing will be significant in their education. It is simply the way it works. All right. It does not matter what your field is. In order to show that you understand what the concepts behind whatever it is that you're studying, the primary way that that is done is for you to put it down in your own words how you understand it and to present that to someone else to read and then go, okay, I think they get it. All right. It really doesn't matter what you're studying. So if you're a biology major, you're going to be writing, you're going to be explaining the things that you see going on. If you're a marketing major, you're going to be studying how to market things, and then you're going to tell people how that works, and you're going to do that in writing. It just sort of spans all education. So don't think you're going to escape it. It's going to be an important skill for you. The other thing is that it's an important skill, period. All right. I could go into how it helps you think more clearly, how it helps you present more clearly, no matter how you're communicating. But I'll just focus on the idea of writing in work. In previous iterations of this talk, I've actually, talked about different career fields and how it impacts what they do. But I'll just, kind of condense that down now. Um, you're going to write in some form in practically every job, whether things get documented. It's simply the way it is. Uh, you're going to I go to my local service station down the road and get my car worked on. What I get back is notes from my mechanic written on a yellow sheet that's been printed out, and he says, "This is what we had to do," and that's writing. uh, so everybody writes at some point. At the very least, if you're working in a corporate setting, you're going to be writing at some stage evaluations for other people. If you're working in a medical field, you're going to have notes on patients, you're going to have notes on care, and people's lives are going to depend on that kind of writing. It's not essay writing. No one's going to give you a topic and say, you know, give me your best shot. But it is writing, and the ability to communicate clearly in writing is going to be essential for you. So don't just dismiss it. All right. Uh, last word. This is our final week, so I just want to. I'm going to have a couple of announcements on it, but I want you to understand, as the class ends, pretty much our final deadline has to remain absolute. Um, if you're working on tardy assignments, then this is the absolute time to get those done. If it's just this last week's assignment, again, it's not a huge amount of points, but if something happens, then basically I need to know about it immediately if you're not going to meet that final deadline. And that's the big thing. For me, I have a requirement to get final grades in more or less in a 48-hour turnaround after the class ends. So that does not give a lot of space for anybody to be submitting anything late. So if it's happening, if something critical happens, then I need to know about it as it's happening in order to make some allowances. All right, that's all there is to it. So um, be aware, this is crunch time, but for most of you, it's a very mellow crunch time because, like I said, we have very little left to do. All right. Last word. I always enjoy teaching this class. I hope it has been at least tolerable for you. That's always my big goal. All right. If you need anything in the future, I'm not going anywhere. Feel free and contact me. All right. And lastly, adios.